Hi everyone, I'd like to start shooting a couple of videos on supply and demand for the real estate industry because I think people understand the definitions of supply and demand. However, all these externalities are pushing and pulling supply and demand here, there and everywhere. So how does it work when that's happening? Well, before we go into that big detail, I'd just like to demonstrate here on this board what the demand curve looks like when everything else is considered equal. Well, here you'll have a sloping demand curve, which looks something along those type of lines, okay? And what this simply means is it has an inverse relationship, quantity demanded that is, has an inverse relationship with price. So this is price here on this vertical axis, and we have the quantity demanded. And let's just say these are, I don't know, 3-bedroom brick veneer houses in a suburb that you know well. Okay, so this is the quantity demanded of 3-bedroom brick veneer houses in that suburb that you know. Okay, so you can see that it's downward sloping. And why is that? Well, let's say at 4 3-bedroom brick veneer houses, the market would be prepared to pay $300,000. Okay, but what happens if we lifted that price to say $600,000? Well, at $600,000, the quantity demanded by the market is only 2. So you can see how it has that inverse relationship. Now, what happens when what happens when an externality changes, such as income? Okay, maybe income increases or income decreases. What happens with things like, I don't know, tax subsidies and all these type of things? Well, we're going to talk about that in more detail because you're going to find that this is at its most simple right now, but a demand curve can look like anything. It can look like this, okay? It can look like this, all right? It can look like a sort of more of a squiggly type of line, something like that. It can even be a completely vertical line. And we're going to talk about what that means and the effect that it has on price in future videos. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for listening to this one, and we'll see you in the next one. My name's David Cavigan.